Hi, I'm Kevin Ranfeld. Welcome back to Choices Unlimited, where we're all about getting you the tools you need to make wise choices. Today, I'm going to get into talking about another big topic about drugs and alcohol and violence, and that's addiction. But before we get to that, I have a question. How many of you like donuts? Now, what if I told you donuts were very unhealthy for you, which they are? What if I told you that they were full of calories and fat, which they are? What if I told you there was no food nutritional value in a donut, which there isn't? Would you still want one? Well, if you asked me those questions, I would say yes. Why? Because I love donuts. Even if I know they are not healthy, I still want one. How about you? Well, addiction is kind of like the temptation to eat donuts. You really want a donut, you think you need a donut, but you know they are bad for you, yet you still really want one. Let's talk a little bit about addiction today. Has anyone ever been happy, sad, mad, worried, or even nervous? Yeah, we probably all have at one point in time. Do you know what those feelings are called? They're called emotions. And we all have them, don't we? We've all felt those emotions at different times. There's another emotion that we're going to focus in today, and that's one I hope that none of you ever experience. It's called addiction. Now, addiction is an uncontrollable urge to consume something like a drug or alcohol. It is a very powerful feeling that comes in two parts. There's first a physical dependency or craving, and second, there's an emotional need associated with consuming that drug. Our bottom line today is addiction equals losing control. Addiction equals losing control. When someone gets addicted to a drug, say like nicotine, which is in tobacco, or methamphetamine or alcohol, then that drug begins to control their life. Over time, they will get to the point where all they can think about is consuming that drug, when they will be able to have it again, where they can get more of it. It becomes the driving force in their life. And they will choose it over many other things like their own physical health, sometimes their job, or even their friends and family. Tobacco can cause gum disease and many different types of cancer. Yet we still see people who know that, but they continue to smoke cigarettes. Some people that abuse alcohol will continue to drink, even after they've gotten into trouble because of drinking, like getting arrested for drinking and driving, or getting fired from their job because they couldn't get out of bed after a night of drinking. Even though they're experiencing negative consequences, they continue to use the drug because they are addicted. Some addictions are harder to overcome than others. For example, tobacco has nicotine in it, which is very addictive. Some people have a hard time quitting tobacco. So hard, in fact, that they have to get help from doctors using things like patches or nicotine gum or even other examples of electronic cigarettes. I'll bet 90% of the people who smoke or have ever smoked will tell you they wish they had never picked up the first one. And there are some drugs that a person can get addicted to the very first time they use it. Now let's talk about the physical part of addiction. In our brain, we have a reward system. When we do something good, our brain releases a natural chemical called dopamine that makes us feel good, which is why we get good feelings when we do something right, like get an A on a test or hit a home run. When someone abuses drugs, it causes the brain to release the same chemicals. So they're kind of faking out their natural reward system to get those good feelings without doing something good to get them. And over time, drug abuse can permanently damage that natural reward system, so that even if they stop using drugs, they still can't feel good about things the way that we do. By experimenting with drugs as young people, you can permanently change the way your brain works by damaging the connectors in your brain that help you think. And when you can't think straight, what happens? You can have trouble in school, with your family, with your friends. It's true that drugs kill brain cells, but they also kill other things. Things like opportunities, goals, relationships, all the things that we want to do with our lives. I told you at the beginning that addiction equals losing control. That when a person becomes addicted to a drug, they surrender control of their life to that drug. So let me ask you, which do you think is better? Keeping your brain working the way it's supposed to and making your own decisions, or damaging your brain and letting a drug make the decisions